All right, guys, here's what we got going on. So we've had super successful turkey hunt. All three of us got birds. Weather was perfect. We were super worried about the weather, but we beat it. It's a little windy right now. It's going to rain this afternoon, going to rain tomorrow, so it's kind of shortened the trip, but we got done what we wanted to get done. So what we're going to do to add in to our episode here is just kind of a little information, education on different shotguns, different types of shells to use. We got both ends of the spectrum here. You got a 12 gauge, and then we have a 410. And they're both equally effective, as you'll see in the episode. It's just two different animals. So what we're going to show is the value is more so in the shells that you're going to shoot than the gun. And so we're going to do some pattern testing for you guys, shooting some targets over here. They both work. You don't have to emphasize on, having a custom choke, a turkey choke, all that stuff. Both of these this is straight out of the box, the full choke for the A5. And does that have a...
Yeah, this is straight from Rossi, the stock factory full choke in this Rossi.
So nothing special. We just have all different kinds of shells here that we're going to go through, and we're going to do a little shooting, and you guys can see the different pattern sprays and what you may want to use and what you may not want to use.
Yeah.
So
I would say, like he was saying, to reiterate, it's pretty crazy. I think you'll see the difference between, like he was saying, the TSS versus just regular lead. A lot of people get super crazy about chokes, and I've done it. I've gone down that rabbit hole, but I just found a blend that actually worked out great with the factory choke, and it shot completely different with other loads. But when I tried the TSS, wound up spending a little extra money, it's worth it in the long run. I mean, you're only killing a handful of birds a year, I'd say, you know, 3 or 4 at most, and that's a lot in most cases. And so just spend the extra money, we think, to have the load that's more effective as further distances that you can shoot.
Oh, 100%. Even yesterday when we were at Bass Pro, a guy saw us and he heard us talking about turkeys, and he came up and he was holding a box of shells, and I was like, I walked up later, and he was telling them how he shot at a bird, wounded it, couldn't find it, right? And then he was holding that box, and I was like, dude, I'm just telling you, you do not want to shoot those shells. And he goes, this is what I shot yesterday, and I lost that bird. And we'll show you the patterns is crazy, the difference. So don't worry about buying a turkey choke, a custom choke, and focus on spending a little extra on your shells, and you'll have great success. What we're going to use here first is the Winchester Longbeard XR, 12 gauge obviously, but this is a 3.5-inch shell. This is the only 3.5-inch shell we're going to use. And uses a 2 ounce 5-shot. We're going to show you the pattern on this. All right, let's check it out. That's a way better pattern than what it was the other day. But the other day I was at 45 yards.
Yeah. Well, yeah, he's definitely bodied up. Not a lot in the head, but... So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, I don't know exactly where the vitals are on a turkey, but...
It's not where you think it. I know if you shoot it like here.
I normally aim for the bottom of the neck, but I mean, as far as like the pattern, it's all the way out here.
Look how wide that pattern is.
That's 3 feet, 4 feet wide there. It looks like most of the pattern's like right in here.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, we have a little bit of wind, but I don't think that's going to affect that much. But I mean, I'm curious to see how much the TSS is gonna hold.
We'll shoot the next one will be Remington, which is lead as well, and then we'll switch to the TSS rounds.
Okay.
All right, what we're gonna do next here is the Remington Nitro Turkey. This is a 3-inch shell. The last one we shot was a 3.5. So this is a 1 7/8 ounce shot. Let's see how it goes. Let's go check it out.
Dude, that didn't hit hardly anything. I mean, there's nothing in the head. Where are you aiming?
Right here.
Yeah.
I'm setting, aim time every time.
I mean, that's typically where we aim, is for the bottom of this, what they call a wallow, or a watto. Yep. And there's nothing in the head, really. I mean, obviously he got bodied up right here, but he's got 1 or 2 right here. To me, it still looked like it was a little low, but I don't know. Maybe try next one, aim a little bit higher and just see.
Well, I want to aim at the exact same spot. I'm aiming right here.
Okay.
So I'll aim at the exact same spot just so the comparison's all the same.
Let's compare this next to it real quick. These are both lead, right? You said?
Yep.
Okay.
Winchester, Remington.
It seems like this. I don't know, dude. Almost.
They
I bet
don't
it,
look a lot different.
no, there's not
honestly.
that big of a difference, honestly. There's a little bit more shot over here
Yeah.
versus this, but I'm not like super impressed with either of them, really. I don't know. We'll see.
Find out. All right, we're gonna switch up to the TSS stuff. So this is a heavy shot Magnum blend, 3-inch shell, and a 2-ounce shot charge. Let's see how she does. Let's check it out. Pellets.
Yeah.
On impact. Yeah, look at that in the head there.
Way more vitals, I think, in that one. I mean, as far as like the shot pattern, it's pretty. Seems like it's pretty even across the bottom, but comparatively to the two lead shots,
And the vitals,
yeah,
Sure.
you got a lot more central. I think most of your shots gonna be here. And the difference between the TSS stands for tungsten steel shot, and is it a blend? Before I say this,
I think it's
just tungsten.
Tungsten.
Okay. So with it being that material, the tungsten material, it's a little bit heavier than steel, and you can tell there's a little bit of wind, and it's just going to have a lot more knockdown power, and it's also going to hold up better at longer distances because it's not going to be affected by, I don't think, like if you're shooting in wind.
All right, last but not least, we're gonna go with the Federal Premium, the heavyweight TSS. This is a 3-inch shell. Let's see how she does. All right.
Ooh, that
That looked way better just from here. That's what we shot our turkey with yesterday. Or mine.
Maybe we could play a little B-roll clip for you. It didn't like it. I'll say that.
He didn't hold up super
No.
well.
No, he got bodied. Okay.
And the thing is too, is the A5 might shoot low. You know, like my SB3 shot high.
Yeah.
Right? So this is me aiming here.
Same
right?
spot at least.
But look at
carrying about,
how many pellets are on the target compared to the other ones.
Yeah. This is lead.
That is a crazy difference
Yeah.
between those
Actually,
two.
I'm sorry. This was the first. This was the
That was the Magnum blend.
the Magnum blend here.
Yep.
This was the Remington.
Yep.
And then that was the
Winchester. XR.
Winchester XRs.
You have twice as many pellets on target than
Yeah.
you do on.
Night and day.
That was interesting. Federal.
Do y'all want to do the? Should we do the drawing on it or no?
Yeah, no, I think the drawing adds value.
Yeah. What are
See,
this is before they were turkeys.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is before they evolved
They
into.
were dinosaurs.
They actually look like an iguana somewhat.
It does look like
Yeah.
an iguana.
Yeah, I don't know what happened here, but
This is it's Snoop. Whatever it's
so yeah, this is just a vague representation of a turkey.
called.
We're gonna
That's
switch.
real, by the way.
yeah, in case you didn't know. But we're gonna switch to the 410, and I know it's kind of a fad, but I picked up this Rossi, and this thing is super inexpensive, super lightweight. It's geared, I think, really for like women and children, but it's a sick little turkey gun. But we just want to show you guys that no matter what the caliber is, not caliber, gauge. We still believe like if you're buying the more expensive TSS shot, you can still get a good pattern at longer distances. And turkey hunting is great for kids and children, and this is a great option. It may not be as effective, obviously you're gonna probably see that in the target, but it can still get the job done. When I patterned it, I was patterning it at 40 because I was gonna say, we were just talking, we're kind of nervous about this 410 pattern because it's night and day difference between the 12 gauge. But when I was patterning it, when I first bought the gun, I patterned it at 40 yards. Usually anything closer to that, maybe 30, you might have a little bit of a little bit more spread out, but I like turkeys to get in as close as I can. 20, 15, I don't really care. If you've got a pretty good shot pattern at 40, you should be good at anything closer. Oh, wow. Oh, wow.
That's a Cabela special right there.
You could sell this to like a turkey or chicken like restaurant, like fast food chain. They could use that.
Maybe their menu.
Yeah.
I'll be here all day.
All right, we're gonna start off with the ammo that I actually shot my bird with yesterday. It's Federal TSS 410. 3-inch. These are all 3-inch, by the way. Let me turn my red dot on. All right, fire in the hole. Let's check that out. I don't know if this is true though. Is the 410 supposedly, because it's a tighter bored barrel, it supposedly naturally holds a tighter pattern?
Look at that.
Holy!
Center mass.
It doesn't have as many pellets in it, but as far as just overall, just pattern of the tightness of the pattern, that's phenomenal. I think.
That's stellar.
Yeah, I mean we've got plenty there, plenty here. I'm actually super impressed with that.
And if he had like a normal turkey head,
Yeah.
you know, it'd be up here. And,
If he
you
wasn't
know,
a
his
flat
beak
top,
wouldn't be. His beak would be
it
more
wasn't
here.
a-
He'd be toast. If we were shooting at turkeys and not iguanas.
why does he have a mouth like that?
We're not-
Why didn't
we-
I draw a
We
beak?
don't know.
Yeah,
That
that's kind of on you.
What's
Oh,
that?
let me grab that.
We may have already said this, but just to reiterate, we are shooting the exact same distance. We had our rangefinder out here. It's 40 yards on the dot.
He's JJ's turkey.
Yeah.
Look at that.
He looks very distinguished. Like he almost looks like he's like kind of snooty a little bit.
Yeah.
No pun intended.
But like, that's crazy
Yeah.
when you think about it. The pattern's like just as good, if not better.
100%.
You know.
You may put this at the end, Riley, but what we like to see when we hit a turkey, obviously, is knockdown power. And a 410, you're just not going to get that inertia when it hits the bird. And you can actually see some of the clips if you want to put it in here. The bird almost just kind of like you see it get hit and it just kind of just jumps and falls down, but it's super effective, obviously.
Yeah.
But
It
there's
doesn't have-
something about seeing a bird just get hit with a full load of 12 gauge.
Yeah, it doesn't have the cool factor, but it's obviously just as efficient.
All right.
What are we doing next?
Next is Browning. You can see 3-inch. Same feet per second. Not a lot of difference between this. Just a different brand. Let's see what this does.
That looks good.
That don't look good for the turkey. I know that. You're gonna buy one of these guns, aren't you?
100%.
Riley, I've been having to keep an eye on him because he's been admiring that gun a little too much this weekend. God, dude, that's better than the. That's insane, dude. Look at that. It looks like maybe it's a little left. I mean, I was aimed at the same spot, but I mean, obviously you can have some shooter error in that, but like the majority of the, I mean, it's all right in their center. This is compared to the, what was the first one again? Federal?
Federal.
Yeah, Federal Premium. This is the Browning. Out of this stock choke. That's crazy. We've got one more shell here. This is a custom blend company called Verdict that I picked up last year. And this is the shell that I decided to go ahead and use after all the different patterns that I tried with different shells. So we'll see what this one does. Same size, same gun, same distance. I feel like I may have pulled just a hair left, but we'll see.
I mean, look at all the shots on paper.
God. You got way more margin of error with this, dude. That is a crazy good pattern.
Holy crap. That's the gun that your gun's patterned to that?
Yeah, that's why I sighted my gun in with this particular load. I mean, you can tell. I mean, it's pretty tight. I would say this is a little bit more spread out
Yeah.
overall. But I mean, look just in the red circle. I mean, what is that? That's a 6-inch circle?
You can see this has like a circle right here of like a tight pattern, and then you have like your flyers kind of, but there's like a circle.
Yeah.
And this circle's more in this area.
Yeah, it feels like it's.
Yeah.
I thought I pulled
Pull
left.
yeah. But
that's what-
still, I mean, that how tight that is for
Yeah.
that small of a shell,
Yep.
at 40 yards.
And that's like coming out of a gun that's on the complete opposite end of the spectrum. And the only similarities is we were shooting the TSS at the same distance. And I mean, I feel like It's incredible. I mean, I wish I had some lead shot to tell the difference, but we don't. But
You know, just like we said at the beginning, like the shotgun doesn't really matter, the choke doesn't really matter. Like
no.
spend the extra money on the right shells.
Yeah.
And if you get within 40, 50 yards of a bird, you're putting them down all day long.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't worry about all the other stuff. If you're just going to go out and kill turkeys once a year, you know, or take your kid,
100%. Yep.
buy the better shells. Get the TSS, whatever brand it is, and go put some thunder chickens on the ground.